This is, well, a bit of Fabriano, £130, but I thought I'd get in fairly early. It's about 9:30, that's not early, is it? Before it gets too warm for watercolours. I thought I'd do a little demonstration of a few rocks and a stream. So let's just start by just sketching in some sort of stream coming down, or something going on there. We have a bit of a bank coming down here, a few rocks. Could be anywhere really. Just put some trees in here and a bit of a background of trees. Quite a simple one. And some foliage on there. We can have different rocks in here. Overdo it. Let's go for it. Okay, we'll use the card to scrape out now. I want sort of a level horizon there. Okay, I like the idea of these banks, rocky banks coming down. And if I paint them dark, they will scrape out and it will show much easier than if you were working on a rough paper. This is a studio quality paper, so it's not artist quality or anything, but it's inexpensive. It's a Fabriano, £130. But there are things it does quite well, and that is the lifting out, provided you lift out at the same, at the right time. You don't want it to dry off too quick. And in the weather that we're having in the UK, we've got nearly 6 weeks without rain, well, most of us. And the atmosphere is very dry. It's going to be very warm. Dogs will be barking. I want to show you something. I did a demonstration, oil demonstration on Patreon yesterday, but there's my palette that I use. Can you see that? It's probably gone dark, a bit dark. This are the remains of the palette, of the tube paint, yellow and white. Rather than scrape them off and throw them away, I cleaned the palette. There was a bit of cadmium red left and a bit of ultramarine, and a bit of burnt sienna. I scraped those off, cleaned the palette with a bit of walnut oil. I always keep this lovely and shiny. And a bit of cling film over the top, and that will stay like that, workable for days. So I'm doing one this morning, possibly an oil painting later on today. So let's put that aside. Okay, so I've got my palette, my watercolour palette. So sort of a bit back to basics really. The pencil lines disappear. I've kept this palette nice and wet, or damp. So these colours are moist. So we've got cadmium yellow, raw sienna, alizarin crimson, night red, ultramarine, burnt umber, Payne's grey, and burnt sienna. I use more burnt sienna than yellow than anything, or raw sienna and the ultramarine. They're my four main colours. Then comes the Payne's grey. You can see that how the light changes on the picture. And then the light red I use mostly for clouds, and the alizarin crimson, well, I don't use a lot of that. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'll just put that to one side. So I've got another little table. My main table to my right is cluttered with acrylics, watercolours, oils, brushes for all seasons. So I'm going to wet the paper. The board is less than 20 degrees. I don't want it running down the page. Well, not too much. It will congregate at the bottom, but just give it a bit of a wet, and let it soak in a little bit. If I don't, I'll be painting, and by the time I get to the bottom, the paper will be dry, and the paints, who knows what's going to happen to them. So I'll just give that a little wet. Then it will expand, and the way it does, we just undo the clips, stretch it, and clip. And you do that several times during painting, and your piece of paper will stay perfectly flat. You don't need to pre-stretch or buy heavier duty papers just because it buckles. Look, take that one off, take that one off, pull, stretch, pull, clip, stretch and clip. There we are, flat. And then we'll do that again. But when that water soaks in, I'll just do it again, keep it nice and flat. You can wet both sides of the paper, but sticking it on a board like that, the damp back will pick up whatever's on the board. And if you want to use the other side to paint on, you won't be able to because it'll be mucky. But in any case, I save all my ones that aren't too good, and paint in oils or acrylic. Just prime them with some PVA glue. And away you go. You've got a lovely surface to paint on. That will be waterproof, provided your PVA glue is thick enough. So just keep it nice and wet, really wet. Go around where the clips are, otherwise there'll be a dry spot there. Okay, right, stretch and clip. Stretch and clip. You can do the other side if you want. Stretch and clip. And that'll a bit more at the top there. Okay, as you stretch across, also stretch up a little bit, but it won't rip. It's 30% cotton and about 70% cellulose. Right, so we'll start with a sky. We'll find where to put the palette. There it is. Wearing reading glasses, I can see this. I can see perfectly now, but there are things that escape your eyesight. That's why I'm always losing things. And when I take my glasses, I'll find them. Right. So a bit of raw cyan, a nice bit of colour, plenty of water, and just wet the sky. Where you're putting the water, we'll colour that as well. Okay, clean the brush. Well, it's a fairly simple sky. I don't want a sky competing with the landscape, which would be this, hopefully, the star attraction. So we're putting a bit of Payne's grey, and Payne's grey, and a bit of ultra. See how wet that is? I mean, loose. It's almost tube consistency, and a bit of alizarin. Okay, let's just drop in a bit of cloud. And just put that in the water, but leave a margin at the top. Reflection. Okay. A little bit as you come down to the horizon, your clouds get smaller and smaller. We can just add a little bit more character to the top, bit of shadowy stuff under here. Okay, any more than that would be too much. Let's just get that reflected in there. Right, clean the brush. Reclip the paper, have a swig of the tea. Very important cup of tea. To us Brits anyway. They say that coffee's taken over from tea in the UK, but not in this house. Oh, see, that's torn that one. Having said what I said, right, be careful. Right, sorry, I jogged it. I know, because the wire is dangling. How's that? Now, I think probably that might just be a little bright. So let's just take the brightness down a notch for the explosion. And how's that? That's still bright, but there's still white paper there, so that is not really showing the intensity of colour. But having the controls to my hand, I can alter it. Right, I think brightness not a bit too much, I think. Right, we'll let that go like that. By the time I put colour on it, it will modify. So we'll put in a bit of background trees, a bit blue. I like blue and the Payne's grey. Bit too thin. So we'll just put that over there, going down to the horizon. Some behind. I'm going to put some bushes there on coming out of those rocks. Okay, now we'll put in a bit of heavier stuff in there. Bit of grey, bit of blue. There's a bit of yellow in there. Alright, let's just a little bit of detail. You need to, when you're painting onto wet paint, you need thicker paint. Much thicker. Otherwise it'll just bleed into the wetness. But this is to show distance, so right, that would do. Now we want some luscious greens and all sorts of colours in that background on those rocks. So let's put in a bit of green. Plenty of colour in that. I haven't mixed colours. There's a bit of blue, bit of cad yellow, bit of raw sienna, bit of Payne's grey. We want that shadow in here where we're going over those other rocks. Shadow there. And nice warm stuff here. And that's not a very rocky colour, is it? So let's put in some bit of Payne's. Bit of burnt sienna. Have a piece of cloth standing by. And we're good green now. So the grey, coming down to there. Well, that's exciting, isn't it? Sort of autumny colours. That just happened. Bit of green. And I can scrape out some of that. Okay, get some more dark in here. All right. Now we're going to go some nice light greyish colour in here. Bit of sienna. Now we're putting some heavy stuff now. Going with the artillery. bit of red, a bit of red. Red and blue, black. Bit of nice stuff in there. Bit of greeny colour. Alright, let's just drag that reflections down there. Alright, we've got a rock there. And then we're going off the page. Right, before that dries, I just go and do a little bit on the other side. Not so pronounced, but I do like mixing that burnt sienna with the yellow and the Payne's grey. Let's just come down here. Like a bit of lighter stuff in there. There's a bit of light. And just some good darks now. Good shadow down those rocks. And then go down the clip. That water. And a bit of rock in there. Okay, well that's the guts of it. Now the detailing, bit of texture, just reclip the paper. Okay, so we'll just outline the light coming down on the tops of these rocks there. That went a little bit wrong there. But anyway. I'm just putting enough pressure on just to scrape the paint off. Now we just want a bit of reflection there. Right, so a bit of reflection. And we go over here. Just an impression of rocks, just done with the knife, with the plastic card. It could be North Wales, Snowdonia. Right, let's do a bit of detailing. A swig of tea. Let's just lift a bit out with our fingers, nails. Okay, let's get some paint on the other side now. So let's have a bit of the old yellow. And catching a bit of light here. I'll get some shadow in there. See, this drying now. See the dry brush? So let's get some good darks in under that tree there. Just hanging down over the brown there. No. Need some charcoal, but we've got a macro store not far away. Exploit that dry paper. The shadow there. So the light's there, so we want some darker. There. Trying to get a decent shape on that without it getting too big. Right, let's go in with a bit of pains. Might be just a little bit wet there to do that. It's all about the amount of water you've got on your brush. If you're struggling with your hake, it's usually the problem. I just want that darker shadow there. Okay, now we'll put in a little bit of detail on the other side. Right. Now, I forgot to model those. So I'll have to do them. I'll just re-wet them. Card. The easiest way, I mean, you can paint these, but when you've got a card that does it just like that, no point. We exploit the tools, but it's the overuse of them is the big problem. Well, now I'm going to dry it off because I want some detail. Well, yeah, I should do some of that background. That's dry now, so I can go back with a bit of heavier colour. So a bit of that blue and blue and that grey. A bit of dry brush there. Except the brush is really wet. Now I should be able to scrape out some trunks from them. Use both corners of your hake, otherwise you'll get patterns developing like one there. Alright, just want a bit harder horizon there. When you look at water going over the over like a little weir or something, you'll find that the light bit is on the top of it, and the bit that's coming dropping over is in dark. Well, sort of dry brush dark. Now I just want just a bit more blue reflection in above. Well, you'll see. The flat brush, lovely and flat. Let's just put a couple in. Okay, that'll be right. I don't think I go too dry. Some rocks in there, so there will be. Right, got birds. So apart from this, with those, a little bit of a wriggle here and there. So we've only used, we haven't used any alizarin. Well, we did, yeah, we used a bit in the sky. We have no burnt umber. Don't use that very often. I forgot I've got it. So if I get that dry, I can put a man on it somewhere. So, ready to take your headphones off. Where's my hairdryer? There it is. put a little man on there. I don't want to put a big man on it because those trees would be out of scale otherwise. So we'll put in well, we use a bit by number, having said it. Okay, so put his head there. And bit of a body. Just having a look around, deciding whether he's going to go fishing or not. Have a second on his back. I'll sign it. I quite like that. It's very heavy. But, I'll put it in a mount. Probably got a little bit big with that, but never mind. No. Right, let's try to zoom out a little bit. Right, okay, put the blue mount on it. Only because it's cleaner than the rest. And there we are, plenty of colour. I hope it's not too. This is all very light. It's the yellow has got, or the raw sienna has gone very light anyway, so you wouldn't see much of that. But there's plenty of colour in here to get your teeth into. Have a go at this sort of thing. It's I've done a lot of it, I know, and I make it look easier than maybe it is. But then it's worthwhile, isn't it? The more you do, the better you get. We could even put a little bit of bushy stuff in there, shrubby, greeny, dark green. Anything that just adds a little bit of texture to the proceeding. But anymore, you can just kill it. It's a little bit muddy as it is, but if you overwork these things, they lose their luminosity. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that, folks. I'll get that uploaded for you. Bye bye.